Brought to you by...
It's not too often that the influence from Italian cinema bleeds into the landscape of short films, which is odd to me because I feel as though more filmmakers would experiment with the fun aesthetics and high contrast lighting. However, when I do find the tropes of the giallo genre popping up in short films, it's always a pleasure to see. Hello friends, and welcome back to another short film review here on ETF. In today's sexually explicit tale, a couple of young women on their way back to one of their apartments for a night of intensely erotic stimulation find themselves followed by an uninvited third party. From Daredevil Films, writer, director, and editor Colin Clark brings us a little sexualized terror literally tearing its way into your subconscious with its title screen. The opening moments here feel incredibly off-putting. The camera work jitters and shifts as if we are looking through the eyes of a character. We witness a man accosting a couple of young girls, who quickly blow him off before the camera suddenly begins to follow them down the road, making us realize that we are indeed seeing these events through the eyes of our stalker. This is a technique that is heavily employed by Italian filmmakers such as Dario Argento and Sergio Martino. In fact, this film employs some incredibly giallo-influenced cinematography all throughout, smashing us into extreme close-ups of eyes and lips, not to mention the harsh red and blue lighting that comes in out of nowhere. The choice to utilize this style of shooting works incredibly well to elevate the intensity of this moment, where we reveal that the girls we are following are indeed lesbians, and we can see the excitement in their eyes and expressions as they share what looks to be their first kiss. The majority of the film looks to have been shot with a wide-angle lens choice, making the scope of the setting incredibly broad. Once we get back to the lady's apartment, the lighting in the film kicks it up a notch, bathing the scene in perfectly contrasting red and blue Argento tones. For a few minutes here, we linger on the sexual intentions between these two women, holding within the sequence of their passion. While they strip away each layer of clothing, they expose their vulnerability, leaving themselves at their most unprotected from the threat that is ultimately descending upon them. This film's score is beautifully rhythmic in its execution, keeping a constant pace that drives the tension well. We do get your standard giallo black-gloved killer here, wielding a straight razor of all things. And much like in Italian cinema, the female form is accentuated as much as possible throughout the film, especially while following the characters down the hall and framing the shot to fully emphasize their ass. In every way, this film looks and feels like a true classic giallo, matching the visual techniques and style with precision, even going so far as to overly brutalize the grotesque nature of the violence. Once we get to the apartment, the camera work also takes a step up in quality, delivering more smooth and fluid shots that perfectly emulate the films that inspired it. For the most part, the entire film is executed without dialogue, letting the narrative be expressed through the scenes and the actions within. The climax delivers on a pretty well executed reveal as to who our killer is, and without speaking a word, also explores the motives as to why they would take the lives of these young lovers. For me, this made the visual feast worth the journey, landing us in a perfectly executed payoff. I have to give Slit an A+. Personally, I highly recommend checking this one out if you are a lover of the giallo genre, if nothing else to see how well matched it is in execution. I will admit that this one got a higher rating because of my love for those classic Italian films. No, it didn't have anything to do with the nudity, though that's always nice. But I do feel that this one also is a cut above the rest when it comes to shorts of this nature. With that, we are going to bring this video to an end. If you enjoyed this one, I hope you stay tuned for more short reviews in the future. If you feel so inclined to help out a struggling puppet, please consider supporting ETF over on Patreon. I hope you all stay safe, and thanks for watching.